Hey everyone, today we're in Vernonia, Oregon, checking out the old Oregon American Sawmill, which operated from 1917 until 1958. So come on and explore with me. Now this area here is where the mill once stood. What made this mill different than other mills is that this mill was not built on a body of water. It was seemingly built in the middle of nowhere. And because of this, all the lumber that went in and out of this place had to be done via steam locomotive. However, just because it was in the middle of nowhere doesn't mean it wasn't a popular mill. In fact, some of the wood that came out of this place was some of the most desired wood around because of what they used. The majority of the trees that they used were between 300 and 600 years old, which made it incredibly dense, and so it was highly sought after because of its strength. Now over here on the left, this was a man-made reservoir that was made to float the wood in after it was brought, before it went through the milling process. Now over here on the left, this is where the slip was. So all the wood that was floated, when it was ready to go, would be sent up the slip here, into a wash house that used to be right here, up a conveyor belt into the main mill, which sat over here where the trees are. Now out here in this clearing, this is where the main mill once stood. There's not much left of it. However, there's this giant structure over here, which was the base for something called a gang saw, which was just like a giant reciprocating saw. However, it was so big it needed a giant concrete base to hold it down. Now after the lumber went through the main mill here, it was sent to the planing mill, which once stood on the other side of these trees. And this is where all the precision cuts were made before the wood was shipped out. Now unfortunately, there's nothing left where the planing mill once stood. Now back here in the trees, I believe is an old burner that was used to dispose of all the excess sawdust and debris they no longer needed. Yeah, over here on the left you can kind of see it. There it is. There's the old burner. This thing is really cool looking. Minus all the graffiti, but you're gonna get that anywhere you have people, unfortunately. Yeah, this thing is really cool. Now over here, we have the foundation where the powerhouse once stood that provided the power for the entire operation. I really found this wiring or mesh, whatever they use for support, very interesting. Never seen something like that before. But they used it on all the concrete. You can see down here on the ground there's more of it. It's everywhere. Oh, this is really cool. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this structure is here. Maybe it was someplace where like an operator stood that operated the powerhouse. Not sure. So the powerhouse here, they use something called hog fuel, which was kind of just a mixture of scraps and chips and shavings and stuff like that. That was stored over here in this big building. Now, most people, when they come to the mill, they think this was where the sawmill was, but actually this is called the fuel house. And it's just a giant open building that housed all that hog fuel. Now again with their graffiti, anywhere you have people, you're going to have graffiti. I don't know, some people like the graffiti. They kind of think it's artwork and adds to it, but myself, I'm not really a big fan of it. Now this painting here is interesting. The last time I was exploring this place when I first discovered it, there was a guy actually sitting here painting that. Turned out really well. Even though I'm not a fan of graffiti, it does look really good. Now as you can see over time, throughout the years, nature is sort of reclaiming this place with the trees growing up. And this tree here looks like it fell sometime, and it was just the right height. It fell just the right way where it didn't damage the wall or structure at all. Just the way it fell. Well, that's going to do it here at the old Oregon American Sawmill. I hope you found this one interesting, and until next time, keep on exploring.